Welcome back, panelists here. Republican strategist and NBC News political analyst Mike Murphy, presidential historian Doris Kearns-Goodwin, Danielle Pletka of the American Enterprise Institute, and Eddie Glaude, chair of the Center for African American Studies at Princeton University. I want to start where I just ended with Senator Feinstein. She is not somebody that is a bomb thrower, Doris Kearns-Goodwin. She basically walked right up to the line of he's not fit for office right now. She was right there, pretty close.
Something happened a month ago, and obviously I think, oh my God, tell us what it is that happened. But clearly the people inside the administration, inside the Congress, are feeling a sense of enormous concern right now. I don't understand how President Trump could say the other day, no collusion, we're very happy. How can he be happy? The administration has been under a shadow from the beginning. Energy has been lost, time and resources have been lost, and now it's going into an even deeper direction. As long as it doesn't hit him, he says, we're happy. Don't the people you choose around you, who have now shown themselves to be untrustworthy, reflect you? That's the major idea of a leader, as an example. And yet he says, we're very happy. There's such a disconnect between what's happening and what he's feeling.
Well, she caught a primary a month ago, too, and that helps you find your inner bomb thrower when you're up for re-election in a Democratic primary in California. But this Flynn thing is so big. It's not big out in the voter world yet.
Yeah, right.
But think about this. Every day General Flynn wakes up with one thought now. What can I do to please Bob Mueller? Because he controls the future of my son and my life. And he is an insider, no doubt about it. He was there in the middle of the Russia stuff. So now they smell blood, and I think the wheels are going to start turning. The Democrats are going to get tougher and tougher, and there's a good chance they will run on impeachment, I believe, as their midterm election message.
You know, Eddie, Don McGahn, the White House counsel, not the president's personal lawyer, the White House counsel has been called before Bob Mueller's special prosecutor. The point here is now you've got staffers in the White House being brought over. Frankly, I don't know how can he both be the lawyer for the office of the president right now and somebody who Bob Mueller is interviewing as a witness.
I don't either. I think we're going to run up against a whole bunch of contradictions over the next few months, right? Whether it's in the executive branch or we might be on the path to a constitutional crisis, depending upon how this thing works out. What I do know is this, is that General Flynn's flipping, as it were, makes everyone nervous. And I think there are two things, particularly what Senator Feinstein just laid out, right? One is the obstruction case, and the other is collusion, and collusion tied to quid pro quo, right? That is to say, what drove General Flynn to contact Kislyak? What drove him to say that we will deliver on these sanctions, we will ease them up? Did they receive something during the campaign which allowed them or forced them to deliver something once they were elected? So all of this stuff is happening, and I think Senator Feinstein sees it. It's a cumulative effect. It's not only that she's getting primaried. I think she also sees a kind of collection of data that leads her to believe that something is really afoot here.
You know, look, Danielle, we've had a lot of off-the-record concern from senators for quite some time. Democrats are giving voice to it. Republicans haven't. Will they?
I think Republicans are going to keep talking privately about the president, but I think it serves nobody to stand up and say, I think the president's crazy. He's the president of the United States. And that kind of thing is just, there's no political upside for Republicans, because then the next question is, okay, you think he's crazy? You think he's on drugs? You think there's something wrong with him? These are all the whispers we hear in Washington. Right. Then the next question is, so what are you going to do about it? And the answer from them is, we don't want to do anything about it.
You know what makes me sad? Whatever happens, we've already lost. We are living during a time when our young people are seeing a government that's not functioning, when they're seeing people who worry about the president's health, when they're seeing an investigation and people lie. I mean, what are young people thinking about politics as an honorable profession?
Hang on a second. I mean, I hate to shatter your beautiful illusions here, but there have been many, many previous investigations of previous governments that weren't Donald Trump's, in which presidents and others next to them lied.
I'm not saying
that's not shattering the illusion.
Wait a minute. I'm not saying that. I wouldn't have wanted to live through Watergate if I was you. I don't think it's fun to be through one of these cliffhanger things. I'm not saying there wasn't before, but wouldn't you rather be living through a time when something positive was going on, when you're working on problems?
I've lived in Washington too long to ever think that.
Oh, don't become so cynical.
It is bigger than that. We are living through the first screwball presidency in American history, where there's careening from one side to another. You don't really know who's in charge. The internal politics are crazy. The Republicans I talk to privately, the professional polls, are terrified.
And I think
because they're seeing the midterm election, they're wondering how to get the agenda back, and they think there is a chaos factor, to quote Jeb Bush, who predicted all
and
this.
Underneath it all
it's coming true.
And underneath it all is the erosion of basic norms that in some ways provided the rudder, right? The stability, the basic democratic norms that allow us to do what we do. I think those are being tossed in the trash.
Decency, honesty, integrity, credibility.
All right. Horrible 48 hours for the president with this investigation, but he was handed one helpful PR moment here. Let me throw up these headlines. An FBI agent was just removed from Bob Mueller's team for anti-Trump texts. Now, when you read the details of this, Danielle, I have to say, part of me thought, wait a minute, are we bordering into thought police territory, number one, but we can set that aside here. But it does give the president a PR tool here, and is to at least throw to his supporters saying, aha, bias in the Mueller probe.
Right, and he just tweeted about it this morning.
Shocking.
I know, shocking to see. Maybe his lawyer tweeted that too. I'm not sure who tweeted it, but you know. No, look, this is a problem because you want the perception, just as Dianne Feinstein was extraordinarily careful to preserve that impartiality. I'm waiting for the evidence. When you have an investigator who obviously has an axe to grind against the president, you want to get rid of them. Mueller is being very careful, and I applaud him for doing that.
I was just going to say, if he made one error here, Doris, it seems as if they just didn't let everybody know immediately that they had done this. And
right,
that they had
it was
discovered
after the fact.
It was after the fact that the public learned.
The president is a genius at taking something like this and blowing it up to Titanic size. We're going to hear so much about this now. It'll eclipse the investigation for a while, at least on the conservative side of the media.
And it's always designed to really undermine the value, the truth value of the press, the truth value of the investigation, to lead doubt once the conclusions are drawn.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and then click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.